I'm Ellen with blackfilm.com, and I'm chatting with Deon Cole about his new indie film, I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking. Hi, Deon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. First of all, I'm a huge fan of your work, so I'm really excited to have this conversation
Thank
with
you,
you.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not only do you star in this film, you're one of the executive producers, and you also have a produced by credit. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
How did this come about? Is this something you've always wanted to do outside of being a phenomenal writer and actor, of course? But was it something about this film that made you want to add ED and producer to your repertoire? Or is this something you've always wanted to do?
Well, yeah, I've always wanted to produce film, definitely. Meeting Kelly on a set of a movie in New York, we talked about our goals, ambitions, and just, what we thought would make good stories, and ideas that I had and ideas that she had. And I was just like, man, she gets it, and we just linked up and we began to, just write our projects. And this is one of many that we have. And so for this to be the first one that we did out the gate, and it makes it in, South by Southwest is crazy,
Exactly.
And so it's kind of like that validation of, I knew we got it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad everybody else got it. And so her talent is so amazing, and we just clicked. And then, to see her and some girls that she went to school with, man, to really like be passionate about this. And I seen how she wanted to like do it with her girls with her. I was like, man, by all means necessary. And man, they all got together, and I supported them and was like, man, this is just gonna be the first of many of what we're gonna do. She has her other partners that we all partner with, Aroma, Capella, Angelique, and the whole team just really put it together and put it in. And it was amazing, man. It was an amazing experience, and I can't wait for everybody to see what else we have in store too.
Was it a given that you would act in it as well as a EP and produce, or like how did that all come together?
No, I wasn't even supposed to. Really, be honest, I wasn't even supposed to be in it because I was leaving to go do another film, and she was like, we were just talking about different scenes and stuff like that. And I think I remember saying something like, anybody trying to holler at you in this movie? And she was like, no. I was like, well, this ain't real. I'm like, well, this ain't real at all. You skating around town and nobody's saying nothing. And she was like, man, that we do need that. And I was like, yeah. She was like, why don't you do it? And I was like, no. She was like, you do it. And I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. And man, ended up talking me into it, and I did it. And man, here we are, which is I'm glad we did. And I'm shocked we didn't even think about that in the get-go, because I was just trying to stay out of their way,
Right.
let them rock. But man, I'm glad we did it, and it turned out pretty dope.
So I haven't watched the film yet. I think I'll get a chance to watch it later on today. But in talking about your role, like, could you talk a bit about who you play other than just the guy that's hollering? Like, how does your role affect the evolution of this film?
I mean, I have no idea how it affects it, in a sense. Like, I'm not sure. I will have to see once everybody else start watching it or whatever. But we had no set agenda, really. We just was like, you should just be in it. Like, why wouldn't you be in it? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I get like that. I'll be like, y'all go do what y'all got to do or whatever. And, I just had that mind state. But they was like, nah, man, you got to do it. And I was like, all right. And so me doing it, then that's when I started realizing, like, man, this is cool. I don't even understand why we didn't think about this in the get-go or whatever. But as far as what this role is going to do, I mean, I'll let the people decide. But we thought that it was important to the film once you see it, and we thought that it brings some joy. Brings some joy to the film, because it's a serious film. It's
Right.
It's funny, but it's it touches on a lot of topics that's going on in America, which is houselessness, and just dealing with, and even kids being houseless.
Right.
And you know, we tackle that, so it's a good break from the reality of that.
When I first got wind of this film, I was immediately drawn to the topic of it because it's so relatable. It's something we're still dealing with today, and God only knows for how much longer. So for that story to be told, I think it's just going to be so important for that dialogue to come to life, right? Because we see it, but we're not really talking about it. We're not really, deep diving into that. And so what was the inspiration, would you say, behind this, outside of the obvious? But first of all, when was it shot? And then how did the idea for this come together?
Well, it was like the fall. It was this past fall, like late summer, fall. Kelly had came to me about the idea of it, and I was like, man, that's deep.
Right.
I was like, that's deep. And then we just kept conversing on it, and we just was like, man, this is funny. And I mean, not funny. I was like, this is interesting. And we was just like, yo, okay, all right, fine, cool. But then I ended up leaving to go do this job. And so I was like, man, y'all got to hold it down and get it in or whatever while I'm gone. And she was like, all right, fine, cool. And so we talked on the phone every day while I was gone or whatever. And man, those girls, man, they put their foot in it, and they did it well. And so when I came back, a lot of it was like done. And so I was just like happy. And before I left, she was like, man, why don't we shoot your scene right before you go? And I was like, oh, okay, great, cool. Because Kelly is a phenomenal director. She won an award. Like, I don't know the actual name of it, but it's like a junior Oscar in a sense for a short she did called Lola's House. And so she's just I have all the faith in the world in her to get this done in a way that she would want it done. And so man, when I came back and when I looked at it, I was blown away. And I was like, it just confirmed what I already had thought about her. And knew that she can pull off. And yeah, we did it, and that was it. This is, like I said, shot like late summer, fall in a sense. Yeah,
2019, right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah. And the inspiration from it is like just looking around from what was going on with the pandemic, and a lot of homeless people that were popping up from the pandemic. A friend of mine told me about a story about a little girl who was taking a school bus to school and then getting dropped off and then walking one block down to her mother's tent where she lived at. And that blew me away. I was like, what? And it was like, yeah, and that's where she lives at, and I was like, wow. And so it just, led me to believe that, man, I think we got to tell this story in a sense,
Absolutely. And what I thought was so telling of how important this film is that it was selected for this year's South by Southwest Film Festival solely from the strength of the trailer, right? That says a lot.
Crazy, right?
That blew my mind. And so when I watched the trailer, I instantly understood why.
Yeah, it was crazy. When we got the word, we just stopped in our shoes, in our tracks. We was like, what? We was so happy, and like couldn't believe it. And we was like, man, once this movie gets out, man, everybody's gonna enjoy it. We can't wait for everybody to see this finished product, this work, man. And we are just thrilled, man. And we want, and more importantly, we want people to have that water cooler discussion about just what's going on and how you can even help. I mean, a little goes a long way. What you think ain't nothing is really big to somebody else. You know what I mean? So if we can, spark the minds of those that can help, or those who can change the world, then we did our job.
You've done your job, and what a way to start your your EP and producer journey on a project like this. Like that sets the bar really high. So
crazy.
good job.
Man, thank you so much. I've laid here. I laid in my house many nights just going, what is going on? This is crazy. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to come. I'm excited about the other projects that we have, man, that are amazing. And, you know, the launch of our new company and everything is just really falling together, man. We couldn't be more ecstatic.
So there's quite a bit to look forward to from the partnership. Okay, that's exciting.
Definitely. We, like I said, we have a vision and a certain way of, you know, telling the story that maybe, you know, that's different from other people. And so we just want to be able to tell the story the way that we see it, you know, and we feel like it's enough room for everybody. So why don't we just try? And so who knew that this would happen? But we're all for it. We're grateful.
I dig it. And earlier, I think I said 2019 in error. This was shot in 2020, right? Or was it?
2020. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so how was that shooting with COVID and just, you know, being cautious and, you know, staying?
Man, it's wild. You know, we had to be very, very cautious every day. People were getting tested, and you know, we didn't have no big studio budget where people could just come in and test people. People had to like actually drive and go get their tests and stand in line and then come and show their results to us and us to them and like to everybody. Like it was strenuous, you know. And I've been on both spectrums of it. You know, I also filming Blackish is like, you know, we have a studio where they come and they give us shots, and I mean not give us shots, they test us with you know, and our you know, with the swab or whatever, and then we get our results and everything's cool, you know what I mean? But you know, with them, it was like we had to go get our tests, and we had
hands on.
I'm like, where's my swabber? They're like, not around here. And I'm like, oh, right. So it was groundbreaking. It was real. But I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, because the story that we was telling, it was like, you know, this is nothing compared to what we're talking about. So any inconvenience was really not an inconvenience.
I get that. It was actually, you know, worth all of that to make this story. I get that. I'm so looking forward to watching it. I'm interviewing Kelly and Angelique, I think, tomorrow. And so I'm looking forward to seeing this film and having that conversation. But before I let you go, I have to give you a big congrats on your 2 nominations for, you know, the NAACP Image Awards. Congrats.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited about that, man, being nominated. It's the first time I've been nominated twice. I think twice in 1 year like that. It's crazy for 2 different things, for animation as well as acting, you know. And so I'm like, man, ecstatic. Actually 3, because we also nominated for ensemble cast. So I'm like,
oh wow,
yeah, for the show itself. So
right.
We're excited, man. It's great.
That's huge.
Yeah, man, it's great, man. We love shooting that show. You know, we love tackling issues and bringing insight to situations. And man, you know, it's been one crazy ride, man, and we love it.
That's awesome.
And thank you to the Academy too. To the Academy, NAACP.
Right. Yeah. Listen, thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.